We finally know the truth about Kayla's connection to the sisterhood. It's crazy. So, Kristen here, and I've actually been really swamped these last few weeks. So, we're going to talk about Charmed Season 4, Episode 8, and Episode 9 today. We're a little bit behind. And as many of you know, the show has been canceled. It is not getting a fifth season. We're actually not going to talk about that today just because I feel like we have so much to talk about with these two episodes. But I'm going to be doing a different live stream to focus on that and hopefully have some special guests joining me. So, we're either going to do that tomorrow or Monday. So, be on the lookout. Now, before we get into the video, I do want to give a quick shout out to StreamYard, who has made these live streams so easy every single week. It's so easy to bring in photos, to bring in video, to bring in all of your comments and questions. Good morning. Hello. I know, right? I know. But yeah, so if you want your own StreamYard account, you can use my affiliate link in the description box. And any support you guys can give me is greatly appreciated. So if you want to drop me a super chat, you're officially my best friend. All right, so let's talk about episode 8 first. When it becomes apparent that the conspiracy group, the Unseen, has assembled a hit list of anyone who has helped the Charmed Ones, the girls must scramble to warn and save their nearest and dearest, now that everyone they know is an instant target. So, this episode kicked off with more background on Ruby and why she was actually in the Witchness Protection Program. It turns out she was being stalked by her demon stepdad, which, I don't know about you guys, but the first thing I thought was, like, that's a hilarious cult classic movie title, right? Like, how funny. Like, imagine a movie, I hate my demon stepdad. I don't know. That's the first thing I thought of. Anyway, it turns out that he found out where she was because of Mel, the Gemcast host, basically made a hit list of all of the Charmed Ones' allies. And that included Ray, Josefina, Jordan, Ruby, so that people could target them. And to protect them, they decide to make these Bindahe dolls, which are essentially get out of death free cards. And, you know, what was exciting about that was the only way to get that spell is they had to go back in time using Mel's new ability to grab the original Book of Shadows. I know everyone's been waiting for that, right? Like, that was really cool. Everyone had been asking, like, will we see the original book this season? And we did. And I mean, I would have said, oh, maybe it'll come back again, but as we know, the show's been canceled, so I don't think it will. But yeah, they end up going to battle against this demon stepdad, and they use this Nightingale potion to throw their voices as if they're Ruby. She does end up getting stabbed, but luckily those Bindahe dolls worked, so she's okay, and they defeated this demon. So yeah, there was a lot going on there that I think just gave us a little bit more background, which I appreciated because, again, like, I like the fact that we're in this magical world and there are other things going on, right? Like, we get to learn a little bit more about what happened with Ruby back in the day. They're going back to that original Book of Shadows with magic, and introducing a new spell. What's not to love? So at that same time, Harry and Maggie are looking for the Unity Bowl to try to break this curse for Ray. And they go into this shop that's run by, like, a lizard type of magical being who is not a fan of the Charmed Ones. Maggie ends up mimicking his frog-like abilities, and they take the ledger that he has of everyone who's ever bought anything from his shop. And, I just feel like everyone's powers are starting to come into play here, where they're being very useful, So Maggie was able to use her new mimicry powers to grab this ledger, and now Harry was able to use his powers with the, as a necrolyter to touch the signature on this ledger that has been written in blood. And because it was written by someone who is dead, he was able to go into the veil and talk to that person. And I literally cannot tell you, as I was watching that episode, I was screaming. I never do that. I literally was standing up like, oh my God, this is unreal. We learned that the person who had bought the bowl last, the person that was in this ledger, the person that we are going to see in the veil is Dexter Vaughn. My mind was blown. I was losing it. Okay. I was just like, Maggie and Macy's dad. I couldn't get over this reveal. And the fact that we learned that Dexter didn't actually die of cancer, his death was magical. It turned out he died of the same curse related to the bowl that is hurting Ray. So, the full circle, the connections, just the fact that, like, over the last few seasons, they have hinted a little bit at, like, Maggie wanting to, um, connect with her father and not really understanding, I don't know, just their relationship, because they didn't know each other, and the fact that now Dexter has appeared, that gives us that opportunity that maybe she will actually get to talk to him and learn from him, or just, get to be around him, which I thought was so exciting. So we do learn a little bit more background on this Unity Bowl. The reason that Dexter went after it was because he felt this was his last chance at happiness. When the two bowls pieces are together, they can break any curse. And so he wanted to break the curse that was on Macy and Marisol so that they could all be together. And he knew that Maggie was his daughter. He wanted them all to be together. And I thought that was beautiful, man. I loved it. I loved it. And the reason that the bowl even has any of these abilities is because thousands of years ago, the original 9 clans of magic had to fight an ancient enemy, and they put each of their powers into this bowl to create the ultimate power. So, we have a new, magical ancient piece to work with here. And now we need Dexter's help to save Ray, but the two of them understandably have a terrible relationship. So that's definitely going to be something to, have them explore, which they do in the next episode, which we will talk about in a few minutes. So something ends up going on in the Vale. Something's going after Harry. He and Dexter run for it. Some craziness happens, and Harry and Dexter end up in the real world. Again, I was losing my mind. I just thought this was so epic. And I want to bring up a couple of comments. I was also ecstatic when I saw that Dexter was appearing for real, not just in a flashback. And episode 8, did a great job, of bringing back some great connections and connecting to things from the past. The older Book of Shadows, more on Dexter. I love it. Oh, it was so good. Yeah, it was a little weird that Dexter kind of knew about this and Harry didn't. But I guess he was the one that was really doing all the research into this bowl and trying to learn more so that he could break this curse. Regardless, let's continue on. So, Kaela, as of the previous episode, has gotten her blanket. Now she's doing a Providence spell to see her parents, and it projects this image from the blanket that shows her as a baby with her birth parents. And they're all working really hard to find answers. And I have to admit, I was not sure, were they even going to be able to get them? In my head, I was like, are her birth parents even alive? I don't know why that's something I started thinking about. I could have just seen it going in a completely different direction where, what if they couldn't have gotten answers? Luckily, they do. And they need to use that Bendahe doll spell to also protect Kaela's real parents, because the magical community is after them as well. And Chuchi comes through with information on where they're located, and now it's time for Kaela to go meet them. And I know that we're not talking today yet about the cancellation, but I do want to bring up a really cool tweet that one of the showrunners, Joey Falco, posted about the identity of Chuchi, because he was saying that if we had gotten a 5th season, it would have been revealed that Chuchi is Nico, which would have been so cool and such a great throwback to that first season, to find out that these worlds really are connected, that the person that's Ray's buddy that's been helping him with all this stuff is really Nico, the cop from that dated Mel in the first season. So I thought that was such a cool reveal, and I wish we could have seen it in real life if we had gotten the 5th season. So I just thought that was so cool. But now, in order to use the Mendahi dolls to protect her parents, they need to know what kind of species of magical creature they are. So Kaela and Maggie go visit them. Kayla's sort of lying about her identity. I think she feels really kind of uncertain about meeting them and kind of scared and doesn't want to put herself out there. We get to learn a lot about them, and it's really cool. It turns out her dad is an artist just like her. We find out that her mom is a wildlife ecologist. But that frog toxin mimic ability that Maggie had gotten at the beginning of the episode, it can only affect humans and it affects them. And it turns out they don't have magical abilities. They are just regular humans. And that was really cool because I think just people were maybe not expecting that. I think a lot of theories were going around about, what if they were like these magic, like very powerful magical beings, or what if her parents were like, what if it was really Mel that was her mom, and like, we're being tricked or something like that. And to find out like these are her parents, they are not magical, I thought was really fascinating. And then she moves forward trying to just learn a little bit more about them. She does tell them that she's their daughter and they catch up. I was hoping they'd go a little bit deeper though. Like she didn't want to know why they gave her up. She just wanted to learn a little bit more about them. And I wanted to know like what was the reason why, like, will we learn about that? Because in episodes 8 and 9 now we've learned basically who Kaela really is, how her connection to the Charmed Ones came about. But will we ever learn why her birth parents had to give her up for adoption? I feel like that's like a big mystery as well that I'm curious about. And I'm going to bring up a couple of other comments. We got one from Devilish Aggie saying that she's surprised that Kaela was a mudblood, or that she didn't come from a magical lineage. And we also got some comments from, let's see, people not happy that she's just descendant of humans. Yeah, I am also very sad that we're not going to see Nico as Chuchi. That would have been a great cameo. That would have been really, really cool. And just brought it so full circle. Woo! I get chills thinking about it. That would have been awesome. So, now after we've learned all this about Kaela, after watching that episode, my first thought was like, okay, well, now that we've figured out all this stuff and that she is descended of humans, I think it has something to do with her cancer now, how she became a Charmed One. And then this new episode officially confirmed it, episode 9. So let's break down episode 9. Which I thought was a really fun episode. It played up a lot of camp. It was very emotional. There was so much resolution. And of course, we got our final answers. So in this episode, Maggie is surprised by someone important from her past. Mel, Kaela, and Dev are on the trail of the unseen. And Jordan and Harry are seeking assistance from a different powerful trio. All right. So right away, episode 9, we learn that Dexter has made his way out of the veil and into the real world with Harry. Oh, it was so cool. And when everyone realizes this, we get to see Maggie's interactions with him. And that's really what I've been looking forward to seeing. Maggie does call him dad, which I thought was a little strange. Like, I get he's her birth dad, but they also have never met in person before. So, I don't know. I just thought that, I don't know. That just seemed a little off to me, but yeah. So, great comment from Daryl. This was a My Two Dads reboot. And then yeah, this really was an episode focusing on the two dads and kind of coming into their own issues and dealing with them. So, Ray attacks Dexter, and this episode they spend a lot of time trying to mend that tension in their relationship with the return of Trunksy. And Trunksy was really great at hearing things out and helping when it comes to therapy in the previous episodes, but after a deadly potion falls on him, he comes to life and he's evil Trunksy. I just loved the camp of that. I thought that was hilarious to see them trying to run around and defeat this evil stuffed animal. This is because Dexter is no longer in the veil, so the magic around them has become unstable. It's become chaotic, and it's sort of like opposite day with their powers and spells, which is why Trunksy is now alive. Because the potion that fell on him was a deadly potion. It shouldn't bring anything to life, but instead, opposite day, it did. So now they have to work together to search for the other half of this bowl that Marisol has hidden in order to save Ray. They have to try to, you know, get away from Trunksy. And there's also more secrets from the past and also some positive revelations that I really enjoyed. Oh, yes, evil Trunksy is like Chucky. I loved it. It was so funny. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, so while Ray and Dexter had beef about their family situation, I love that realization that, you know, kind of all of this happens for a reason, you know? All of this was what made Maggie and the girls Charmed Ones, you know? So even though they have their own stuff going on and, you know, maybe Dexter had an affair with Marisol and Ray wasn't there for Marisol, like kind of everything I think worked out the way it was supposed to for their destiny, you know, for the girls to be Charmed Ones. And maybe that, you know, is what makes it worth it, you know, all the stress and struggle that they've dealt with. And they end up finally being able to move past their issues just as they realize that the bowl is hidden under the floors of Maggie's bedroom. They complete the bowl, Ray drinks from it. He is saved. Thank God. Ray is okay. Ray is fine. So we also established in the last episode that Macy thought Dexter had cancer, and it turned out it was really the curse of this bowl slowly killing him. And when she found out that, you know, when she thought that he had cancer, she decided to donate her stem cells to an experimental cancer treatment called the Progenitor Project. Oh, really? This is important. Isn't this crazy? So later on, we see Kaela with a Progenitor Project mug. That is the treatment that she used to get rid of her cancer. So for everybody who was theorizing that how Kaela was connected to the Charmed Ones and the sisters and how she got her powers was through her cancer, was through her being healed, 100% correct. So I'll repeat that because I think you know what donate. So basically, when Macy thought that her dad had cancer, she donated her stem cells to an experimental cancer treatment, and that is what was used to save Kayla's life. Oh my gosh, crazy, crazy. They talk about how Macy basically saved her life, gave her magic, and how this sort of makes the sisters both chosen sisters as well as real sisters. And I know people might be disappointed that they're like not really blood sisters, but I personally don't mind that. And I think that this actually even opened up some other mysteries that would be really cool to explore again if the show was not canceled. So for instance, when Macy donated her stem cells, she still had those like half demon side of her active. I mean, I guess it wasn't active because her powers weren't activated yet, but she still had that kind of in her. So did that go to Kaela at all? Like, does Kaela have any sort of like half demon tendencies or abilities that are, you know, maybe hidden right now? The other thing is that like, there's a really good chance that there were a lot of other people in this program, right? So if Macy's stem cells saved Kaela, did her stem cells save any other people as well? And do those people have Macy's abilities too? Like, there's just a lot to think about here. And it just makes me sad that we're not getting that next season because if they did dive into all of that, that would have been crazy. Like, just imagine that, like, there's all these other people who have a connection to Macy through this stem cell program. They were cured of their cancer and maybe they have abilities somewhere, or maybe they even have some demon abilities in them. Ooh. So let me bring up a couple of comments about that. Dr. Macy Vaughn saving the innocent. A lot has been revealed and there's only 4 episodes left. So and unfortunately, we're not going to get to continue the story, but it is cool that there was a lot of places that they were setting up to go. And the fact that this season it really felt like they've been setting up things and actually doing them, versus in past seasons it felt like they would set something up and you're like, okay, they didn't go anywhere with it. Like maybe they really would have dove into the idea that other people have been saved by Macy stem cells and potentially have her ability as well. Yeah, so this was definitely, it was definitely confirmed. I mean, Macy did the program um that she was a part of. She was just a regular human before. And there is a tweet already out by Joey Falco confirming, like, we know the truth now. This is it. This is how she's connected to them. So, um, oh, that would be really cool if we really do get that, especially if we get it in these next four episodes that are left. Woo! There's just so many places they could go now. Oh, I'm so excited about it. I hope that we will get some answers before the season's over. And yeah, let's continue on. So there's just a lot to think about here. And I also loved that they ended up punctuating this episode with another throwback to the past, to that first season, and to Macy by using the spell that brought her to life by the necromancer to stop Trunksy, as it would reverse on them and, you know, basically kill both Trunksy and Dexter and send them back to where they belong. So I thought that was a really big moment. I love that we finally got to have Maggie and Dexter have, you know, time as father and daughter. I love that they brought Ray into it. She's just got two awesome dads, and it felt like a really meaningful and healing reunion for all of them. And I just feel like we learned so much in this episode. So yeah, I definitely agree. Mind blown. There's a lot going on. Mind blown. So let's continue on with the discussion on this episode. While this is all happening, you know, they fixed everything, but while this is all happening, Mel, Kayla, and Dev were on a stakeout to learn more about the unseen and their plan. And Sunny kind of set up this trap to get Mel stuck in a snow globe, but it backfires because Sunny gets stuck too. And they use this time to, again, give us a little bit more backstory, explain a little bit more, and share why she's so against the Charmed Ones, why she wants to bring back the Lost One. Basically, the faction ran Sunny off the road. It's a miracle she didn't die. She ended up losing everything, though, and she just doesn't feel included or respected by the Charmed Ones in the magical community. So she thinks that the Lost One is going to put them first, put the unseen first. Although Mel, I think, makes a really great point about, you know, is this really going to do anything different, or is this just going to be another hierarchy? So she tries to convince Sunny that they should work together, and I thought that it was maybe working, that, you know, maybe they could work together to make things better, but once Kayla and Dev managed to get them out, it ultimately didn't really change anything for Sunny, and looks like she's still moving forward with her plan. Although I do want to give a shout out to Kayla and her powers in this episode, because I thought it was pretty cool that she was able to draw a knife on her own jeans and get it, kind of send it to Mel, and it showed up in Mel's hand. I mean, she didn't end up using it, but it was still a pretty cool, magical moment. Now, we already know that Maggie was able to work with Dexter and Ray to find the bowl, save Ray's life. All is good. But at that same time, Harry and Jordan were also searching for ways to help. So they were seeking out the help of the Graiai, who are like these kind of gossipy, socialite inspired seers. They wanted to see if they could help guide them to um, basically what they could do to help break Ray's curse as well. And they said it's easy. They'll give them the answers, but Jordan has to give them the truth about his relationship with Maggie. You know, they're just feeding off the gossip. He kind of gets in his head about it and gets tricked when he doesn't really speak from the heart. But once he kind of realizes how he really feels, you know, they're able to help him. And we learn that while he loves Maggie, he also doesn't love how they were as a couple, and would rather just move on from their relationship if she can't let go of just the negativity that she's been holding on to. And speaking of relationships, Kayla and Dev's relationship is also tested this episode as well, because Kayla just doesn't feel like Dev is a serious guy who can handle the real stuff in her life. And I think, honestly, that Kayla is projecting, because Dev has always been there for her. Like, he's 100% ride or die. And although I gotta say, the fact that they used that phrasing in the episode makes me a little bit nervous for Dev right now. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too deep into it, but I just really like Dev, okay? And I don't really usually love all those romantic storylines. So I like Dev, and I want him to stick around for a while. And I like their relationship. I just want Kayla to give him a chance, you know? Go into the relationship, girl. I believe in you. Um, okay, so um, let's see. I'm gonna bring up a couple of comments and then we'll get into like the final moments and thoughts on this episode. Um, yeah, would have been a great thing to share maybe that they lost their powers and that's why they needed help, or just saying like just because we're charmed ones doesn't mean we know everything. We do need some help sometimes. Maybe we can all work together, you know. Oh my gosh, that'd be pretty crazy if they end on a cliffhanger of demons created by Macy's stem cells. That's a great idea. That's really, really cool. You got more questions? Throw them in. Share your thoughts, your theories, questions. I want to hear from you guys. Um, I wish there was more between Maggie and Dexter, but her calling him dad so suddenly is mind blowing to me. Yeah, I thought that was a little weird, right? Like I don't know, I would have called him Dexter. I mean, yes, he's her birth father, but she didn't know that. I don't know. But I like that they had that whole thing where he was like he knew about her, he loved her, you know. Um, let's see what else. What if they make a new group of elders with each of the 9 clan? Hmm, interesting theories. Interesting theories. Stem cell magic powers. That'd be interesting if there was like because of how they got their abilities. If there was I don't know some kind of connection there that gave them like a different type of ability, or maybe that's why her power is more individualized to her for Kaela and not just repeating Macy's power. Maybe the stem cell stuff does something there. I don't know. Who knows? Um, right, right. The ride or die. It makes me nervous. Oh, and I gotta say, there's been a lot of foreshadowing in this season that we haven't had before, and it's like accurate foreshadowing. So I'm like, oof, oof. I don't know. Also, thank you very much. I appreciate it. um, didn't Macy call Marisol mom too? I think the difference in that is that Macy knew who her mom was from the beginning. She knew that that was her mom, and just was not allowed to be with her. Like she thought that like the mom, died or whatever. Like there was a whole story where like she knew that was her mom, whereas like Maggie never knew that that was her dad until recently. I think that was my whole thought process. Um, Okay, so let me talk a little bit more about my final thoughts and those final few moments of last night's episode. So, um, as the episode ends, we get some realizations about the unseen and the bowl. The first being something that we've actually talked a little bit about in a past video, which is that the unseen aren't really like any other enemies that the charmed ones have faced before, because this is not someone you can just vanquish. This is not just a demon. These are real magical people who feel alone and who feel um just like not appreciated, like feel like pushed on the outside. They feel unseen. That's why they're the unseen. And looking at the promo for next week's episode, it looks like the unseen are going to infiltrate the command center and get an upper hand on the charmed ones. And I was like, oh, okay, like we've been teasing who they are, and now we get to see exactly who these people are, and they're making a move. And in the final moments of this episode, Harry and Jordan try to destroy the bowl. They smash it, and something blue comes out of it and floats over to the new Book of Shadows and forms new pages. And those pages look like they could be a spell to unbind the lost one. And I'm just saying, it seems like with, the plan for the unseen to get all up in the charmed one's grills in the next episode, is this foreshadowing that they're going to get their hands on that spell somehow? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Um, I feel like maybe this next episode is going to be that mission to you know get whatever resource they need to take down the charm ones to bring back the lost one, and maybe the next few episodes of the season are going to be them bringing the lost one back, and then that standoff. And I hope that if that's what happens, that they do explore a little bit more of like that history and like who is this lost one for real. And I'm kind of hoping that there is some connection to something that we've seen already, like that it's not just some random villain. That's my hopes. So yeah, overall, these last 2 episodes were crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, when Dexter came out, I was losing my mind. I just feel like we learned so much. We got to learn more about who Kaela really is. I liked the realization that she got her powers and was saved because of the stem cell program that Macy was a part of. I think that's really cool. And I'm curious of like what that's going to mean moving forward. Again, we only have 4 episodes left, so I don't know how they're going to tackle it all. I don't know how they're going to tackle it all. I don't know how they're going to end. They have teased that we are going to get a real ending, that it's going to feel succinct, and not like, oh crap, we have a cliffhanger. That's what the showrunners have teased on Twitter so far. So I'm crossing my fingers. But yeah, let me know you guys' thoughts, any questions, comments you have. We got 4 episodes left, guys. And I just want to repeat again, if you want to keep supporting me, feel free to drop me super chats. Feel free to check out some of my other videos, especially like once Charmed is wrapped up. Like, we won't have these weekly chats about the show. Make sure to let me know what other things you're watching, so maybe we can talk about them together as well. So yeah, let's chat. Let me bring up some other comments. I saw on Twitter that Joey Falco mentioned that both the OG and the reboot universes will collide. That's cool. I wonder, was that he was saying if we continue to the 5th season, we would get to that? I'm curious of how they would collide. My thought would maybe be connecting it to like a Melinda Warren type of character, because I'll be honest, I know people don't want to hear it. I really do not ever see the original cast of the series coming and connecting with this series. I just don't see it happening. Especially now we only got 4 episodes. I don't see it. Do you think that another network would pick up Charmed for season 5? I don't know. I will say I would like that, just because this season really has been so good and has given me like renewed hope and renewed excitement for the series. What I think would be cool is if maybe they were able to do like a, I don't know, 2-hour movie special or something, like a TV special, and just wrap everything up that way. I think that would be really, really cool, and just give us a chance to like finish the story. And we've definitely seen outlets, different companies do that. When it came to, for instance, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, they canceled that show. They did like a holiday movie on Roku and wrapped up everything, and it was it was nice and gave you a chance to finish out the story and wrap everything up in a succinct way. Let's see what else. I'm thinking that perhaps the connection between Macy and Kaela is more of a magical intervention. So maybe others won't get magic, only Kaela was meant to be charmed. Explain that a little bit more. I'm not sure I understand what you mean. Like, why would it be Kaela specifically that gets the magic and not other people? Like, why would she specifically get to be charmed? Is she like the first one that got the shot? So she, or use the stem cells? I don't know exactly how that works. Is she the first one that got the stem cells and that's why? Let me know what you think. Let me see. Okay. I think the dad thing has more to do with Maggie's fears over losing her loved one, so she's clinging tightly to the connection she has. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, they've said like Ray was never really a part of her life. I think, he's always kind of let her down in the, when she was younger. And then when she finds out that her real dad is Dexter, he's not alive. So, there's definitely this fear of losing people and not having those connections for sure. Why did Harry and Jordan decide to break the bowl? And what about the spell? Maybe when Mel sends the book to the past, their past self would take care of the lost ones. So basically they were saying that Harry and Jordan needed to break the bowl because when the bowl is together, that is how they can bring back the lost one. And so, yes, they put the bowl together so they could break the curse, but now they can't have it together anymore because that's like a surefire way to help bring the lost one back. So I'm imagining if these unseen get those pages from the book and the bowl, it's done. So, they want to break up the bowl, keep the pieces separate, kind of like how they, kind of like what they did with the source in the first season, where they put the source into that necklace, they broke the pieces, they sent it all over. I feel like it's a similar situation to that. if Dexter came back, why can't Macy come back? I think they've explained that, in that it seems that Macy was not in the Vale anymore because she'd moved on, and the people that are in the Vale have like unfinished business. They are kind of stuck, and so it seems like Dexter has been stuck, and clearly, um, it's because they needed him eventually to come help figure out this bowl situation, and also find peace in finally meeting Maggie and having that connection with his daughter. So um, that's why Dexter was able to come back, and Macy is not, because she's moved on, and he was kind of still stuck in the Vale. But now I would imagine, based off of everything they did in this episode, Dexter has moved on as well, and so he wouldn't be in the Vale anymore. Um, yeah, I also feel the same. I'm not ready to say goodbye to the show. The new showrunners have worked really hard and really, really improved so much. I think the first season I had a lot of fun with. There was some ups and downs, but overall, I think it was a lot of fun. The second and third seasons, I was kind of a little bit ready to give up, and I kept going because I know we wanted to talk about the show together and we'd built this awesome community. And now this fourth season, I was like, I'm glad I stuck around, and we kept pushing through because this season was so awesome and has been so much fun. And I love how they're really, it feels like they really have dove even deeper into theories and foreshadowing and really giving us a lot to work with so that we actually can finally theorize, which I don't think we'd been able to do before very well. And so yeah, I'm very sad to hear that. But I do want to share that, for anybody who is interested, I have been talking to showrunner Joey Falco about having him join me in a video to talk about Charm, to talk about maybe what could have come in the future. And so if you are interested in sending me any questions, or we want to take everything. I want to hear everything you guys want to know about all 4 seasons of the show, and we're going to talk about it with him. You can send me tweets, you can leave comments in this video with the hashtag Ask Charmed, and at the end of the season I'm going to do a whole interview with him, a whole discussion, and we're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about everything. So if you want to participate in that, if you have a question or a comment or thought that you want to share, you can send it to me on Twitter, Instagram. You can leave a comment here. Just use hashtag AskCharmed. And I'll bring this up again down the line, but I'm going to start collecting a whole bunch of questions, and we're going to just like go through everything we possibly can. Anyway, let me go back to some more comments and questions here. Yes, that's exactly what they've confirmed, Daryl. Kaela got the power of 3 from the stem cells of Macy. So, yes, I think that's a pretty cool, different storyline that, we're not just doing the same thing as the original show. We're doing something a little bit different. Yes, I agree, Ray. I think Melinda Warren would be an awesome way to tie the 2 series together, but in a way that like still gives you something a little bit different and new. I mean, you're not wrong. Let's see what else. Got a couple more comments. Yeah, I think a movie would be a great way to wrap up the story. I could even, like, if they wanted to do something like that on a streaming platform, on the CW, I think that would be my suggestion if they wanted to wrap up the story and be like, come on, like, let us just do like one more thing. Like, I think like a 2-hour movie, TV special that just kind of like wraps everything up would be awesome. Oh, I appreciate the hair comments, guys. I recently got a balayage, so I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, that's an interesting thought. Macy got her powers by transfusion, like the demon powers. So maybe it would make her magic more capable of being transfused to Kaela. Hmm. Let's see. The writers hinted that they were starting to gear up for a towards the finale in case the show didn't get picked up. So yeah, I think you're right. I think we're gonna start seeing some closure type episodes, wrapping things up. Um, and I'm hoping that, we get like a really epic finale, where everything is wrapped up, it's done. But if there was like a little bit of a little movie that we could finish out, like that, there would be the possibility for that. I'm not saying they're gonna do that. I could see this kind of just being the end, but you always want to give options. You never know. Um, let's see. Um, Yeah, I think that's another great point when it comes to like, would Macy even be in the veil to begin with? I mean, they did say that she's kind of moved on and everything, but she's also like a different being. Like maybe she is an angel or something. Like she went into the tree, right? She didn't have like a traditional death. So um this would happen this interview would happen like after the finale. So you have from now until the finale, send me any questions or thoughts that you have. It will be pre-taped. So there's a question there about it. It would be pre-taped. Just so we can, be mindful of Joey's time and, you know, yeah. But we'll get into I'll like screenshot all of them, bring up all the comments so that you can each like see your names and everything. It'll be fun. I'm really excited. And Joey seemed really excited about it too, so I can't wait. Um, let's see what else. Um, oh yeah, that'd be nice. I hope Kaela does get a second power as well. Like starts manifesting like another ability. The other girls have several powers right now. Um, and yeah, it is interesting that Kayla didn't get her power until Macy's death. I think because they did have to do the power of three chant or whatever, right? To activate it, So I think if they had never met Kayla, maybe her powers would have remained dormant and not appeared. But because they found her and they met her and they did that power of three reconnection, that's why she has abilities. Oh, guys, that was it. That was it. We just figured that's definitely the answer, right? I think we just figured it out. Would other people have powers? I think that other people would have dormant abilities in them in their DNA because of the stem cell, but it wouldn't be activated unless they did the power of three reconnecting spell. Guys, we figured it out. We figured it out. Wow. That was a great question. That is a great question, Linnell, or comment that led to us figuring it out. That's why other people don't have the abilities that maybe did the stem cell project. Oh, I mean, unless they secretly do. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna reveal something. But from what we've learned and what we're kind of piecing together, my thought would be even though Macy donated her stem cells to this cancer program, the only reason Kaela has her abilities is because they found her. Otherwise, it would have just stayed like dormant in her system and never actually come out of her. That's what I think. So thank you for that comment, Linnell. Um, let's see what else. Um, do you think because Macy is a sister of space, that's why Kayla's powers relate to bending space reality? It's not telekinesis, but the world is Kayla, though, but it's Kayla's powers, like it was mentioned. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think um, that instead of giving her the same ability as Macy, it was like, okay, what kind of thing in the realm of space can we give to Kayla? And being able to bend reality, space by drawing and it coming to life. I think great point. And for those who might have been curious, the final episode is June 10th. So we got 4 more episodes. Thank you, Gerard. Um, Although there were magical stem cells because of Macy, she was always meant to have magic and be charmed on. I see what you mean. Like maybe there's like a fate type of thing that went on. Because I mean, what are the odds that they happen to find Kaela as this person to not replace, sorry, to sub in for Macy? But yeah, I think what we were talking about a minute ago about how like I think that it's maybe it's a fate thing that they happen to pick Kaela, but what if they had found someone else? Maybe someone else could have also been the charmed one. But I think as we were kind of talking about with, Maggie and Ray and Dexter and how like, yeah, they had a crazy family dynamic, but maybe it was meant to be because like, look, the girls are charmed ones and like they have all this, responsibility and power in the magical community. Maybe that was meant to be. So maybe with Kaela, it is meant to be. I think it's definitely what we were saying a minute ago of how like everybody who now has Macy's stem cells has the ability within them, but it will only be activated if they do that power of 3 reconnection spell to be a charmed one. And they did it with Kaela, so there she is. Fate. Let's see what else you guys got here. Yeah, great point. Paige didn't get her witch powers until Prue's death, and she met the sisters, and they didn't activate until then. She just had her white lighter abilities. So, like, interesting, very interesting. Let's see. Unless Kayla was the only one to get Macy stem cells. I don't know science like that, but I feel like that's not how it works, right? Like I feel like if they worked and healed someone, then they would try to like replicate that and heal multiple people, right? So it wouldn't make Kayla special just being at the right place at the right time. Well, I mean, maybe it's a fate thing, like that she was meant to connect with them. I don't know. I guess there's a lot of ways you can think about it. Yeah, I feel you guys. I'm not ready to say goodbye either. But yeah, I do love the new take on magic and everything that's going on. I think any of the other people who got their stem cells and had the magic stem cells. I think if they did the power of 3 with them, maybe it could have been someone else. But I think it was meant to be Kaela. So Kaela has the ability within her because of the stem cells, and now they activated it with her, and there she goes. That's a good point as well. That's why it's like, hey, maybe it is a fate thing that, she happened to get this ability and then it kind of connected with her own kind of like passions and things like that to give her the ability that her drawings come to life. There's a lot of questions. Save this and send it again with hashtag charmed for hashtag S charmed for when we talk to Joey. We can talk about it then. Like, how come in the original series the doctor that had their blood got their individual powers and Kayla didn't? Like let's talk about it. We'll ask them. We're still missing the why her. Yeah, I mean, I think I feel like it kind of just came down to like a fate thing. Like they happened to come across her. I don't know if they're gonna answer why, although I would love to still know why did her parents give her up for adoption. And that's something that I would like to know, and I wonder if they'll eventually answer that. But I want to thank you guys so much for your time. We again, like I mentioned, are gonna talk about the cancellation in a different live stream this weekend. I just really wanted to talk about these 2 episodes because so much happened and we've already talked for quite a while. So I was like, if we're going to talk about the cancellation too, we're going to talk for like 3 hours and it'll just be too long of a video. So yeah, so I think there's a lot of theories and thoughts about how the magic works with Kaela and why her. I think we learned a lot in this episode, these last 2 episodes, about Kaela, about Dexter, about family. And I'm excited for what's happening next week we're finally getting to see the unseen. We're going to see the unseen. And like I said, we got 4 episodes left, so we got to make the most of it, right? So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me to talk about these last 2 episodes. Again, I'll have another live stream coming out this weekend talking about the cancellation and also some fun facts that we've learned on Twitter from the showrunners about certain things, like, for instance, as we talked about, the fact that Nico is Chuchi. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. We'll talk more about all that stuff. So I want to thank you guys for your time. Just a reminder, if you want to send any questions for Joey for the end of the season, hashtag AskCharmed. You can find me on Twitter. You can leave a comment here, Instagram. If I'm Kaymaldo on Twitter, Kaymaldo. And you know, I've seen a bunch of people already doing hashtag Save Charmed. So if you want to see their initiatives and the different programs they're using to try to get the show renewed, go check out hashtag Save Charmed as well on Twitter. I think they have a petition going on right now. Maybe you want to check it out, sign it, and see if we can get the show back, or, you know, at least wrap up in a nice way. Again, 4 episodes left, guys. So if you want to check out any other videos that I have outside of Charmed, now's the time. You know, because after the next, you know, few weeks, this is it. We're wrapping it up. All right, I will catch you guys in the next video. Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and if you want to talk more TV and movies with me outside of the comments section, check out the exclusive Discord available on my Patreon at patreon.com/Kaymaldo. If you like this one, you can check out more of my videos right over here. See ya!